Hi friends, it's Katie Steinberg and I am back with you with this week's message from Missing Piece. This past Sunday, we celebrated our 2-year anniversary at the Orman Brewing Company, and Steel Oak Coffee was there, and Sweets and Eats food truck, and Dustin Stock playing music, and despite some rain that creeped in on us, we had a really meaningful time together. Several people shared a toast to Missing Piece and the work that we've done over the last 2 years. So I want to let you know that this week, this Sunday, at the Neptune Approach here in Ormond Beach, we'll be playing flag football, one of our physical activities as a form of worship. And the week after that, we'll be doing desire mapping, which is sort of a new version of goal setting. Instead of based on the goals you think you want to achieve, it's based on the desires, the deepest desires you have for your life, and building goals around that. But without any further ado, here is this week's message, well, rather a story from Missing Piece. There once was a woman with an idea, but it didn't fully seem like her idea. Like maybe creativity herself had gifted the woman with the idea. It seemed bigger than her, maybe too big, but she couldn't shake it. So she started to tell people about it, both wary and humbled by its gravity. Some people she told laughed at her and told her it was impossible, but their skepticism only energized her, just as creativity knew that it would. Others saw possibility for something really new and different to happen, and they hoped alongside the woman, and they encouraged her, and they saw what creativity was doing, and they worked alongside it. And the woman was nervous and scared and felt inadequate to the task. And the voices of the skeptics and the doubters and cynics seemed so much louder than the voice of creativity. Nevertheless, she persisted. And she began to invite people to be part of creativity's crazy experiment, and they responded. And she tried some other things, and people showed up, and they wanted to help people and do good for the world, so they did that. And they wanted to use their minds to think critically about the world, so they did that. And they wanted to nurture their spirit, so they did that. And they wanted to use their physical bodies to engage with life more fully, so they did that. And creativity kept providing ideas and resources and people and projects. So they kept going and doing and hoping and loving and growing. And it was incredibly imperfect, but beautiful in its imperfection, just as creativity had intended. And sometimes they failed, and sometimes miracles happened. And it wasn't always easy, but for those on the journey, it was worth it. And the next thing they all knew, it had been 2 years, and they'd done 630 hours of community service and given almost $17,000 to these causes and engaged over 300 people in their mission of peace and hope and love. And people were transformed for the better and hopeful in new ways and reconnected with their source, their God, and creativity was glad. So creativity called them all together at a brewery and celebrated and hoped and dreamed what they would do next. And it was good. Amen. I hope you enjoyed that little parable, and I invite you, as always, to join us sometime in the flesh for one of Missing Piece's activities. Each week we engage in either a physical activity, a cerebral engagement, a spiritual practice, or service activity, and whichever one of those speaks to your heart, or maybe all of them do, you are invited to be a part of. Grateful for this time together, and grateful for a chance to be at the beach this Sunday doing flag football, and in a week after that doing desire mapping. Keep an eye on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or right here on Facebook Live for all the latest. And if you want to get our weekly updates, you can text PEACE to 33222. Grace and peace, my friends.